Hello, all you beautiful thinkers and wanderers. Welcome to Think Out Loud with me. I'm Natalie P., and if life has taught me anything, curiosity saves lives, and the best conversations are the ones we don't script. Life's a big, beautiful, messy learning opportunity, and here in my space, well, we let the inside voices out so others can hear, relate, and create with new purpose. This is a space for questions, connection, and those deep, real human conversations that crack open new perspectives. So grab a seat, open your mind and your heart, and let's think out loud together. I am so glad you've joined me today. Sitting here virtually across from me is Dr. Tiffany McBride, an artist, a musician, and a creator of her life. Tiffany wears many hats professionally as a clinical psychotherapist and doctor. And at her core, though, she's deeply passionate about empowering people, especially women, to liberate themselves, reclaim their voices, and tune into their truths beyond trauma and societal noise. Our paths have been orbiting close for a while through our shared connection with Freedom, Folk, and Soul, yet somehow we're just now, in the last few months, actually laying eyeballs on each other. Tiffany, welcome. I'm genuinely thrilled to be thinking out loud with you today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and just have this wonderful conversation with you. Woo. Yeah, just great.
The
I'm so
vibes
excited.
are flowing.
We're already talking. We've already been speaking our genius truth out.
Right? My last live or my last conversation that I recorded with Kansas Carradine that I just released was so much fun to just go with the flow, to just hit record and break all the rules that I have been trying to follow about how to do a podcast and how to do this. And it was it was hysterical because she literally would not let me introduce her. If you listen to the episode, it's over an hour long. At every moment, I'd slip in, I'd like try and segue in with an introduction, and the woman was slippery. I'm like, this girl is not going to let me introduce her because you know what? Who can it was perfect. And so all I did in uploading was just like upload and hit publish, which is like the metaphor for my damn life right now. So yeah, I hit record quick because I already know that I love you.
I love you too, girl.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why would I spend any time in setup? Like this is what this is think out loud with me. And so I said it. Our paths have probably been, I mean, I know they have. Our paths have been running parallel for lifetimes, right? Let's say that. But here we are finally connecting now.
Yeah.
And I want to know from you because I want to know you. Like, what's your take on the significance or what's timely about our connection right now?
Well, it's actually just been amazing. It feels like I've kind of come out of this isolation box that I've been in for a few years. And um, I don't know, transformation, rebirth that happens in life, hitting 40, you kind of just start thinking about life and what you want and what you haven't had. And so I've really made the intention to really put myself out there and be raw and authentic and not afraid and just start to put my energy out there to meet the right type of people. And holy shit, I have been meeting all my best friends. All my best friends I haven't met, they're all coming to me right now. And I really just think with everything that's going on in our world and in our country, I think that a lot of souls are coming together to do something really big. And to build community. I think community is the medicine that we need right now. And so I just feel like we are all in alignment here and we're just coming together and we're ready to just blow the shit up, whatever it looks like, to be, I think, authentic and real and still know that we have our sovereignty
Mm-hmm.
and that we still have each other during this time. So that is just what was coming to my mind, but it's been amazing. I am so overwhelmed with so much joy and love with the community that has been coming into my life. And I think it is just, it's the medicine. Community is the medicine.
Yeah,
Relationships are the medicine.
it is truly fantastic to give yourself the shift to have a shift in where your focus is and then start to have the rewards of that shift. It just start to I mean it some days it pummels you, with just yumminess, like this beautiful sense of self and liberation of self on display, expression being the opposite of depression, right? That we slowly but surely we're inching our way out of these cocoons. COVID was a cocoon. Initiation, all of these initiations that came in real forms and implied forms, right? Oh, it's like these beautiful beings are coming out, and I'm like so here for this. I keep calling it my soup. I'm like swimming. I'm like backstroking. Mm. And my favorite one recently was Panera's uh, butternut squash. They put little pepita
I
seeds on
love
top of
that.
it.
It's my
Can we have a
favorite.
moment for Panera soup? A close second to number one, Chef Paul, who has my heart. Um, he's my partner and lover, and hands down the best soup maker on the planet. I'll,
Oh, made with love. That's why.
yeah,
Made
yeah. So I want to say something before I forget. About turning life's shit.
mm,
It's crazy. My hair is just bouncing. Turning life's shit um, into goodness, and um, what that like. I'm being called lately a tragic optimist, right? Which I love. Like oh, you want to like that was like go green light. So, that
wow.
those two words together, I'm like, this is fascinating shit. I love this. Keep going. But there's a quote on your homepage about turning life's shit into fertilizer. And I had to smile because I have literally been sitting on Stephanie, our girlfriend Stephanie will tell you, I've been literally sitting on the domain holycaca.com.
Oh, yeah.
What? Like when I looked it up and it was available, I'm like, nobody's claimed this yet.
Wow.
I grabbed holycaca.com.
Yeah, you did,
Oh,
girl.
maybe I have been waiting for this final crossing of our paths for the inspiration. And maybe your gardening wisdom can finally help me decide what to grow there. But something though too that I've been noodling on, that you and I have exchanged about in all seriousness is this word accountability. I'm a
Mm,
fiend for words, obviously.
mhm,
And it's a term so little backstory here, context. Tiffany and I met and quickly understood each other to be on um, just connect energetically and intellectually and just a lot just of all of our bodies just like connect, right? So wow, this could be a really productive relationship. That's what we decide, right? And so Tiffany asks me to, hey, maybe we should be, or I don't know who suggested it, accountability partners. So it's a term, right? Accountability. Like I have soapboxed on the term accountability from One Direction for most of my corporate career.
mhm, mhm,
Accountability from a corporate. perspective, right?
Interesting. Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I like, and so you would hear me, and people will say they have heard me, they can hear me saying, oh, I could totally hear Natalie saying that. I just need somebody to give a shit. Can, is anyone holding anyone accountable around here? Why do I have to be the one? And it was like, okay, like I'm the only one who cares. Like there was a whole story attached to it. I recognize that. It's a separate podcast. But these written, spoken, implied, brainstormed, really important to dos that we dish out and then we just vanish behind. I mean, they've always been maddening to me,
Mm.
right? Because there's a commitment part that my body, my sacred bodies commit to something. And then when everybody doesn't show up, I'm like, wait, where did everybody go? So recently, like, I'm gaining this composure and this renewed and reclaimed sense of self. And I'm like, accountability. And Tiffany says, like, be my accountability partner.
Mm.
It isn't about obligation.
No.
It's not about a contract. It's not about a threat. It's not about anything rooted in human nature, human made fear or resentment or disappointment or any of that stuff. It's about something more sacred and something rooted like in our humanity.
Yeah. Well, accountability, first and foremost, is about relationship. And unfortunately, in this country alone, we are such a isolated, disconnected. We have no idea how to have relationships. We're an island. And so accountability, first of all, is like, okay, we're coming together and we're making a commitment to have this relationship. And relationships come and go, right? They always do. And some stay. And accountability partners can come and stay, come and go or whatever they need to do. But it's also about that commitment. And it's a commitment to showing up for yourself. Because here's the thing about me, I have ADHD. So I can make a plan and I have it all out, but I'm one of those people I give up on my plan because I don't have the inspiration, I don't have the encouragement, don't have the support, I don't have the other person to mirror something or reflect something that I'm not seeing. And so we give up really easily when we don't have that, right? And that's also the sense of community, right? And so when I talk about accountability, it's about having a commitment to come together in a relationship and to support each other, to encourage each other, to reflect with each other, to hold space for each other, I have the most amazing inspirations from my friends. Like, I'm like, hey, here's an idea I'm having. And they're like, well, what about this? Have you thought about this? Have you thought, I mean, and so then I go back and I'm like, holy shit, I have this whole thing that I could just totally grow from instead of just me in my own little box, thinking in my own little box. So that's what accountability means to me.
And what you have grown, I think, in your own realization of self is permission to be held account. You want to be held accountable for who you are.
I want to be seen.
I want to be seen.
Yeah.
You said I have ADHD. I am so there's these pieces of you that have had to come forward as parts of who you are, and now you're ready to say, these are the things I'm working on. This is who I am, and these are the things I'm embracing. And I would love your support of another human in my life who I'm showing myself
Yeah.
to witness me, to hold space for me while I explore this path. To to me, that also says to say, whoa, are you sure? Like, can we stop for a second and maybe come up a couple floors and say, Tiffany, you and I, when we first decided to become accountability partners, we said that we would stop each other if we needed to come up a couple floors and
Mhm.
like look at what's going on underneath us,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
That's heart-centered stuff.
It is, and it's reciprocal, so it's not one-sided either, right? And so you show up, and this is what I need, and I know this is what you need. And so, I'm a workaholic. People that know me really know this about me, and I love working. I love what I do, but I often have a hard time stopping and taking a
Mm.
break. And I need people to say, hey, I think that's a little too much on your plate. Make sure you have time for yourself.
Oh, girl.
You know what I mean? Like, I just need someone to be like, I see you, I love you, and I love you. And since I love you, I want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. That's family. That's community. That's taking care of each other, right? It's more
Mhm.
than that business like accountability. It's really
Mhm.
coming from a place of I care about you and I see you and I want you to be the best you can be. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to totally hold you up to that because some days also I don't see myself clearly and I'm definitely in my low self-esteem and I'm definitely down in the pits and I'm like I can't do this and I have people come along and say yes you can.
Mhm.
Yes, you can. Remember this, remember that, remember who you are. That that is accountability. That's power. That's
That's
powerful.
power. That's powerful. So come up a couple floors. What is accountability to our community? Like, let's talk about the fact that there's shit going down.
There
Okay.
is.
There's
There is.
there's I mean there's the sheer volume, the cacophony, that's the word. It's cacophony. Like that is like it feels like the word. It's just, you know, who's we holding ourselves accountable to our own humanity and our own community when so many voices around us are are amplifying fear, they're amplifying confusion and division, um, that this accountability to the collective of our energy, of our roots being in love. I think about when you, Tiffany, are called to sing.
Hmm.
Like, will you share some of that? Because I see that as an offering of yourself to the community in accountability to the humanity. Like, this is my voice. I'm offering it up as salve, as
Yeah.
as as recognition of my reality being shared with you and overlapping in so many ways. Talk to
Hmm.
me about that.
Okay. So music and singing have been my salve, have been my medicine all my life. Since I've been a little tiny girl, it was what comforted me. It was when things were really dark in my home or abuse was happening in my home, I could go off and hum, and it would just bring so much comfort to me. Where I wanted to connect to something bigger than myself, just singing always feels like I'm connecting to something bigger than myself. And over the years as a psychotherapist, I've learned actually what happens in your body when you sing or when you listen to music. And what's actually happening is you're activating your vagus nerve, which is a regulation to your nervous system, and it calms you down like instantly. Singing, if anybody wants this, like if anybody's stressed out, having anxiety, start humming, start singing, you will start to feel different because what's happening is you're activating that vagus nerve and you're calming down all your organs in your and your nervous system, and you're releasing oxytocin, which is the love chemical, the love connection. And so we have this within ourselves. And so one of the things that I feel called to and have been encouraged by my community is to sing. Every time I sing, someone always comes up to me and says, "Oh my gosh, that just, that made me feel so like something really deep. Like I've never felt. I just started crying." Or I was just like, oh, I was just so soothed by that. I was so calmed by that. It helped me to get out of my head, like whatever that is, right? And so right now we're so much in fear, and we're in our boxes, we're in our little tunnel vision holes. And so I share my songs on my Facebook, and I'm hoping to share more out into the world. Um, and my songs are also about medicine. Sometimes they're about grief, and sometimes it is about community, and sometimes it's happy, and sometimes they're sad. And they all activate emotions that we need to release out of our bodies that are being held by this fear and stress, right? And so that's that's my medicine. All I have to do is vibrate this wonderful sound out of me. And I know that it's touching people in a way that's vibrating whatever needs to happen within themselves, hopefully to switch their nervous system from fight flight to more of a rest and digest, to just restore and replenish themselves. And so this is also so healing for me when I do it. I love singing. I love sharing it. And I love I'm a community singer. So I used to be a Christian church person and was a worship pastor for actually a long time. And then that switched over. That's another story for another day.
There's another podcast. We'll come back.
A different place and found my calling and found my belief system. But just music has always followed me, and I've always been a singer. And so it's just always been a very spiritual thing for me. And I really feel like I have been called to sing, and I have been wasting it. And I say this very like lovingly to myself, just because I've been so scared to share my voice for so long. And it's coming out now, and I think also the message here is that it's never too late.
Right.
So yeah. I'm coming out now and sharing my music and my songs, so that people can also sing along, and then they can soothe themselves with the songs or the humming. And so, yeah, this is just a very subtle, beautiful thing that I can offer as medicine, and people are attracted to it. Like, right? It's like not hard. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do more than what you can. It's just like listen, open your heart, and let the music and the song and the words just do what they need to. The magic of it, right? So yeah, that's a little bit about the music part and the medicine in that.
I love that. And if I can reflect a few things back to you, I think it's interesting to me the order in which you present your gift of music. And I want you to recognize the medicine, the value of the medicine that you get deliver through that voice. You and I are really active on social. We're always liking each other because we support each other. I got my people, and you're right. And so you said something about your voice healing yourself, and that have you wasted time? I don't believe you have. I think what's happened is that, and this is in the context of, say, social media, where we're in this structure of role, the structure to like you have to be this, that, or the other on these platforms and whatnot. You're not chasing followers. You're leading with your heart. And I hear you saying to yourself first. These are the words that are called up, and you and I are still, I'm still in this place of like, when I say I'm being called to
Mhm.
deliver this, I giggle at myself because somebody somewhere, something is telling me, "Oh yeah, you're called by
Oh, yeah.
fucking who, Tiffany?" Okay.
Yeah,
You got a
absolutely.
calling?
Absolutely.
And you
Wow.
know what, sister? Yes, I do. And when I feel it, I jump online and I deliver it because I'm healing myself fucking first. And I know that if I need it, then somebody else needs it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right? I am the one I've been waiting for. And if I can reflect that out and be that example to folks and in the process of it, introduce them to the salve of music and the salve of humming and the salve of ideas and stories and holy shitness of the beauty that is Tiffany McBride, like
Yeah.
sign me up all day, all day. Like I wish you could like, you know how in lives and on reels you can go beep 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 and do like a bunch of likes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Heart, heart, heart,
Heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart.
heart, man. Yeah. I really appreciate you a lot, and I really appreciate that you are part of that support system and community because, for a long time, I would put myself out there and I would get like no likes or get no views. And I'm like, who do I think I am? Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I shouldn't have put myself out there. Maybe I sound really horrible, that voice. Um, and to be really honest, like it had to be my community that came forward and was like, no, I love this. No, this is great. I needed that so bad. Because, that voice in our head does take over sometimes, but also, you know, what you're saying about sharing it raw and vulnerable is something very new for me. And I've been doing that maybe just for only 6 months. And it's been amazing to see people go, yeah, me too. Oh, me too. I thought I was the only one. Oh, me too. And that brings what? Community again and friendship and connection. Um, so it's so important. And I also want to talk from as a psychotherapist.
Yes.
So we're taught and we're trained to not share anything, to be this wall, to be just a reflection for our clients. And I didn't fit very well in that way.
No.
In like, the normal community mental health places. I just didn't fit in and I get in trouble a lot. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go do my own thing. Right. And part of that is being transparent and coming from a place of being a mentor and a guide because I've been through it, not because I'm just telling you what to do as a therapist. I didn't feel like that's genuine, right? And I have broken rules and I'm a rule breaker and I like it that way. So, for my clients, when I got to be into private practice and kind of do what I felt like was best healing practice for my clients and myself, being transparent and being myself and being wacky and forgetful. And I'm still professional, right? I'm still there
Yeah.
for my client, but I'm authentic. The more authentic I realized I was, the more my client felt so comfortable in my presence and just melted and could totally be themselves, right? And that's where I felt like I saw the most healing was just coming into this relationship, right? Even in therapy, and making that commitment to support, encourage, and also to be that safe place means to authentically be super comfortable within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I show up in my therapy. I'm very different. I tell people that I am not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not traditional. And a lot of people are like, that's exactly what I'm looking for with her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's beautiful It's the most healing thing I think you can be is yourself.
Yeah, it is. It's a calling.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What? I'm
Yeah.
being called to be myself,
Yeah. Yes.
and I'm gonna take the call.
Yeah.
Finally.
Isn't that crazy? That all we have to do in this lifetime is be ourselves, but there's so many conditions and, you know, blocks and walls and limited beliefs and things that keep us from being ourselves. It's just amazing, and that's what I do. Like that's I'm like, hey, let's uncover this shit. Let's
Right.
break open this onion and just peel back those layers and layers. And every time you do, you're like, oh, I feel more like myself. Oh,
Yeah.
I feel more like myself. And the more you feel more like yourself, the more comfortable you're going to be in your body,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
your calling is whoever you're meant to be. So yeah,
Right.
that's powerful.
And I think too, there was a little, you know, a blip that you said about, folk. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, obviously, um, but somehow I get shit done on fantastic levels. So some folk, I work well with folks. Have most all of my life, as a matter of fact. And Yeah, I think that folks think they have to show up in a certain way to these conversations. And I'm realizing with this podcast and just everything in my own coming out of my own cocoon and blossoming into whatever this is. People are saying, Natalie, what the fuck are you up to? And I'm like, I don't know. Isn't it great? It makes people really uncomfortable. It makes people really uncomfortable to witness other people finding their voice. Like, and it makes me uncomfortable because I feel that those are the folks I think about,
Absolutely, me too.
right?
Yeah.
They those are the folks like somehow I cannot think of a recent guest. Everybody is like such fantastic little nuggets, but talking about somehow I'll hit publish on a post, and there's one person out there that I am like, out of all those thousands of people, plus all the non-followers,
Mhm, mhm.
I wonder what she's thinking about this.
Yeah,
Chances are she doesn't even see it.
right.
Who
Yeah.
cares?
This is absolutely normal. I do the same thing.
It's
And isn't
ridiculous.
that crazy how that's the one thing that kinda also holds us back? And here's the thing about what I'm learning, because this is one of the things that I have really actually struggled with is how can you be happy when the world is suffering, right? And I work
Yes.
with people that are suffering and
Yes.
in deep grief and I see the grief and the suffering, but I'm a happy person. I'm an opportunist. I've always been. I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of curiosity about life and things. And I'm realizing those are the things that people actually need, right? They're stuck in the suffering and the pain. And to see someone that's not, right? I have pain. I have suffering. We all do, right? But to try to do the best that you can to make the best out of life, we got to live a little bit. And I think what happens is that people are, and I say this lightly and I'll talk about the jealousy. It's like they're jealous, but I talk about jealousy with my clients and everybody about how jealousy is not a bad thing. It is something that's showing you what you want and you don't have. And there's a belief that don't have it and you can't have it. And so I always try to encourage people to say, if you see that and see somebody living something and you get kind of upset or envious or jealous, just maybe sit with yourself for a second and go, oh, that's probably because that's what I want. And to switch that script a little bit to go, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
I can have that. I want that. I can have that. And see how things switch, right? And so for those people that we trigger, that we do get them to get uncomfortable within themselves, I've learned as a therapist that that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
because that is part of their awakening, or for you to start planting that seed in that hard cement or gravel that starts shaking things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really trying to embrace this myself, because I definitely think about those people that are suffering, and I'm over here going, I'm excited about life and things are hard out there. And so and life is also dualistic.
Yep.
It's not black or white. It's not right or wrong. It is.
Can
And it's
we
very,
stop?
yes,
Can can we let's define do this is
yes,
clutch.
yes.
This was such a big moment for me. It sounds so flip and simple
Mm-hmm.
that two things can be true at once.
Absolutely.
Multiple things can, infinite numbers of things can be, in fact, they all are.
Yeah,
This like rocked my world. So help me, duality,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Help me explain the concept so that the understanding of two things can be true at once or infinite, that locks in. Will you help me explain that?
yeah. Do you want me to use like a metaphor or an example?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Um, okay. So someone that we love dies. There's so much grief and pain in that. So much suffering. It's probably the worst feeling to ever have in your life. But there's so much beauty in that, because you love that person so much. That's how much you have felt inside. And that love came with a beautiful memory, and came with a person that was a beautiful, amazing, characteristic, full of life person. And they are meant to be honored. And how do we honor them? We cry,
We
we share
laugh.
stories, we laugh about things. That is a perfect example of what duality is.
It is. Yeah, it is.
It,
And for me in today's world of, I have folks say, "Are you not reading the headlines?"
yeah,
Not most of them, no. I get my news. I know what's going on. I inform myself rather intentionally.
yeah,
And um and then I do my work. And
yeah,
that is living in alignment with love and activating and supporting and being accountable to my community, and standing at projects left and right to support and going from a place of love like never before,
yeah,
aligned from a place of being a representative of love
yeah.
is it. Yeah.
Well, what's happening right now is there's fear,
Right.
and the opposite of fear is love.
Yes.
And so yeah, I am too. I definitely have my sources I listen to and I watch, but I also see something beyond that, and I see that there is this overwhelming amount of information that no one is ever supposed to have. And our systems are not meant to have all this information and overload us with stress and hormones of, adrenaline and cortisol and fear. Like, it is a on purpose thing to keep people stuck and in their box and in their tunnel vision, and for them to not be able to move or be inspired. And so this has definitely inspired me to get my ass moving. If anything, right? It's like, holy shit, the world's on fire. Let me get my shit done. And part of that is building community, and also bringing in the arts and creativity and the healing modalities of how to heal trauma and how to heal stress. And so that comes from my place of love. That's my love. And that's my offering, is to be like, okay, we're really in trouble. And if we stay in this stressful place, in this fearful place, it's not good. It's not
Mhm.
good for anybody. It's not good for people's bodies. I mean, you're literally killing yourself with stress.
Correct. Yeah.
And so that's the last thing we need to do, right? And so we have to switch in some form of fashion to heal, to change the vibration, to be the source of love, to be the light in this world, because that we're living in what is called the duality, right? There's so much
Hmm.
darkness and fear, and then there's so much love and inspiration and the creativity that's happening. It's like, it's just, which one are you wanting to be on? Like, are you wanting to stay in that? Are you wanting to come over onto this other side? How do you do that? And I think that's why I think a lot of us are building community, because people are just like, I'm lost, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. Hey, come on over here. I'm going to help
Yep.
you. I'm going to be here for you. I'm support you. I want to love you. And we're going to get through this together, because that's the only way we're going to do this.
Yep. All day. Yep. I mean, you just described this latest book project that I'm on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we gotta join hands. We gotta join
Yeah.
hands. I want to hear very specifically. I brought that up too, just as a really awkward segue, but I want to plug it because um it's a calling. It literally is a calling to a homeland and what it means to hear a calling to go somewhere for transformation. Um, I've been on a couple of authors' journeys that have transformed my life. You have created an author's journey that is traveling to Ireland in September.
Yeah.
And I want people to know from your perspective what it means to join someone like you on something like this.
Okay. Well, um, I've been on several different journeys where I got to be with some amazing people and write a book, and they changed my life. Absolutely, night and day. And I've been in training. I've been doing this psychotherapy work for 20 years. I got my doctorate in psychospiritual shamanism, and I have been wanting to find a place where I felt like was my home, but also other people's home, something different. And Also, trying to figure out who I am. So we're talking about like figuring out who we are as we unlayer ourselves. Well, Ireland was definitely in my roots. I'm a McBride, I'm Scotch Irish, and it's been calling for me for 10 years. Since I've been doing my spiritual work, it's really been just the way of life for me, the Celtic, the Druidism kind of way. And so um, I just, inspiration comes when it wants to come. And I was like, you know what? I want to do an author's journey in Ireland. And I was like, I didn't know what I was, had no idea. I had never been to Ireland. I had to know, whatever. But my friend Becky, who's my my tour guide on Ireland, she's been, for a few years talking about, I want to build this business where I can take people to Ireland and they can have transform, you know, journeys. And I was like, you know what, girl, I'm going to totally be there with you on this when that happens. And so it's here. And so, we created this beautiful journey in Ireland that includes this book that you get to be in. And what happens is a magical carpet ride, really, to be honest. I just got back from being in Ireland for the first time, and it absolutely shifted my whole entire life. I literally went there and I was like, this is my home. This is where I belong. This is the peace I've been looking for all my life, and it's here in Ireland. And so my book is going to be called The Alchemy of Intuition: Embodied Practices to Access Your Inner Voice. And what's happening is all these beautiful people are coming and saying, I heard about this trip. I really feel like I'm supposed to be in this book. It's a yes. It's a yes. It's a yes. It's a yes. Like, people are drawn intuitively to this trip. And
Yep.
that's what I'm looking for.
Yep.
It is about, if you feel called, you're going to come. And so people are like, I'm so for this. I'm ready to meet with the fairies. I'm ready to go into the druidism. Like, I'm so excited for this trip. And we still have about 10 spots left. So there's plenty of spots left. And our early bird actually ends on the 31st. It's $400 savings. So if you want to get with me, let me know. But
Yeah.
it's, and I want to explain, like, how it changes your life. These people that you go on these journeys with become your family for the rest of your life. This is how I'm networking. This is how I met you. This is how I've
Yeah.
met a lot of people. And it's just grown and grown because I have met these beautiful, amazing healers and writers. And we have become a community and a collaborative. And we just continue to, heal and serve and support and encourage each other. And so you form these beautiful relationships, but also on this journey, we're going to be actually going through the 4 stages of alchemy by Carl Jung.
Mm-hmm.
And it's transformation. So it's like, when we come into this place of we're ready to have a transformative journey, we first have to die to something. We have to let go. We have to let things go away that are not serving us to transform, or to, that's not, that's, what are the things that hold us back, that keep us from
Yep.
going to that new place or new phase or just the next, because we're feeling so stuck. And then we go into this purification of, we're grieving this loss, this old life that we're leaving behind. We're honoring it, we're burying it, we're crying for it, we're kind of just washing it and clean. And then we go into this this rise of consciousness where we're like starting to see who we're actually supposed to be, and we're starting to feel that, and the things that were holding us back aren't there. And so there's like little parts and pieces of us are starting coming out, and we're like, what's this? And a lot of that time is when that intuition voice starts to come out, because a lot of that time
Mm-hmm.
is the noise, the conditions, the other people's responsibilities, codependency, blah, 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 blah. We can't hear any of that, right? And those are the things that we're trying to get rid of so that we can hear who we really are. And that's different for everyone. And eventually you go through this whole transformation, coming out of this fire as a new person, as a new being, as something golden. And so that's going to look different for everyone coming onto this trip. But I guarantee they will go through a transformation, because
Mm-hmm.
this beautiful land, Ireland, is the heart center of the world. The world. It is. It is the heart chakra healing center. And
Mm-hmm.
just by being on the land, you're healing. You're healing. It's amazing. I can't explain it. You have to experience it. It was a
I'm
magical
so excited.
time. Yeah. And so we're
Yeah.
looking for people to come. And if you're feeling like, if you're listening right now and going, oh my God, yes, please definitely reach out
Right.
to me, because this
Yeah.
is a trip of a lifetime. And
Yeah.
definitely come. Yeah. I'm really
And
excited.
it's being led by women who are living their lives in purpose and from a place of love and living out loud. And I think to be led on an author's journey by a human going through and being here's the accountable word, to the group, to the humanity, to the larger readership. It's yeah, I totally agree with you. Like the level that these journeys and these book projects take on of just community, a frequency very high um, in just alignment with lifting as many people as we possibly can, especially now
Yeah.
more than ever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I am encouraged by the woo. I'm developing the woo scale. Like we have got to open our arms and get curious to these beautiful opportunities to discover ourselves. And
Mhm.
I'm having this vision of like it's a human like standing in one spot and the world is just like racing around them, and it's the person is standing there saying, where do I fit into this? And that's a very real question to ask. There's a lot of different ways that people ask it, but when you start to ask that question, where do I fit into all this? And don't take other people's this is what you want to do. I know what it feels like everybody else wants you to do. This is what you need to do.
Yeah.
This is you.
Yeah. And that's what, when our intuition comes into mind or needs to come into mind, but a lot of times we have a lot of doubt. You know what you want and you know what you want to do. And a lot of times that what's holding us back is fear. But that want, that desire, that feeling of that calling, that's your intuition,
We
and
just don't, we just don't, we aren't familiar with it.
we're
We
not.
haven't, we need to develop a relationship with it.
Yeah.
And
Very,
it's,
we're very familiar with fear.
yes.
Fear is everywhere in everything that we do. And
Hmm.
people get really confused with what's the difference between anxiety and intuition. What voice do
Hmm.
I listen to? Do I listen to the one that's really anxious and coming out of fear? And do they even know what that is? And then like, oh, it's this intuition. Oh, it's a small voice. What? And it's more than that, right? There's so many different ways that we can access our intuition, and everybody's different. And I think that this is what I want to bring out into the world with this book, is to have these different stories, not just mine, that access intuition in different ways
Yep.
of how they figured out how they're supposed to live their lives, right?
Yep.
And that's why I want authors for this book, because I don't want just my voice. I
Right.
want Sandy down the road to tell me about how she, connects with her intuition in a totally different way than I do.
Yep.
Somebody else can relate to that. And so, what I love about these books is that, first of all, you're going through a healing transformation on a journey, and then you're going into this book and you're writing a story that's raw and authentic
Yeah.
and scary, but it's so healing for the world and yourself, and putting your medicine out there, and you're vibrating and you're putting out there something that someone needs to hear.
Hmm.
So I'm looking for those people to
Yeah.
come and be in my book and tell people, like, well, this is how I access my intuition, or this is what came to me, or, and so, yeah, this is what this book is about, is teaching people how to know what the difference is between fear and that intuitive voice.
Yep. Yeah. Yay. I'm excited for you. And it's just one of the your magical things that you're working on. And I'll drop all of the links and your website and everything in our show notes. And just encourage people to be in touch with, and I'm in the show notes too, because I am a phone call, a text, a DM, a hashtag, a like, a love, a follow, a share away from my girl Tiffany.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the concept of how you do anything is how you do everything, and how you showed up for me for this conversation. I hope that's how you do everything, because that is um that is what I need from you. Um, is your beautiful human self. And I thank you for being here. I really appreciate you thinking out loud with me, in this place where folks can listen in. Um, yeah, it's
Yeah,
important.
I'm excited. I'm so happy to be here, and I thank you so much for letting me to ask me to come on your show. Um, you're giving people the opportunity to share who they are, and you just gave me the opportunity to kind of shine my light a little bit that I don't get to shine, and so that means a lot to me
It's bright.
and everyone, right? Because it's for everyone. Whatever I do, one of the things I'm really a big integrity person. Integrity is how it's one of my biggest values. And it's always, I have to show up. I want to show up with integrity.
Hmm. Hmm.
And what that means is wholeheartedness, presence, and really just be in that moment with that person and be whatever I need to be for them, and whatever comes through as intuitive. But thanks for showing up and being here with me and
Yeah.
listening to me. And you're
I'd
an
love to, I
inspiration.
would love to be accountability partners with you every
Let's
day,
do it.
all day.
I'm starting to gather a few of them. Like, hey, let's get
Yeah.
and it's for every different part of things. So like, we're going into this accountability partner around like, being ourselves, being a leader in that. And then I have other people that are coming in of like, I want to do business with you.
Yeah.
I want to learn energy healing from you. So I'm all for it. If you
Right.
want an accountability partner, count me in.
Me
I'll be
too.
here for you to be your cheerleader.
Hashtag accountability. Yeah. So thank you. Yes, and thank you too to everybody listening in. I often find myself lost in these conversations, which is a good thing because, um, yeah, as you're saying, it means I've shown up, and I have to take notes and stuff. I remind myself every once in a while, like you're on a podcast, Natalie, and you're supposed to be like and then it's like, no, 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 no. All the personalities show up for those recordings, and depending on their moods, they pipe up at different volumes. But um, I guess I just want everyone, if you take away anything from this episode of Think Out Loud with me, it's that accountability isn't about obligation. I'm going to say that it's actually love in action. Yeah, we're gonna call it that. So keep thinking out loud, friends, whether it's with me or a perfect stranger. Just stay curious, and stay loving, and I'll see you next time.